Aloha. Whoa, we're suddenly live. I want to welcome everyone here. Let's see who's here. I think Jamie Kelly was the first one in, and then we have Betsy Palmer Medium, the Artistry of Truro. Hi, Mendy. Oh, you guys are chatting away. Hi, Aquarius Owl. So I have a very special guest. This is Jaymi Elford. We've been friends we were just talking about it. We think maybe 11 years. It's been a while. So we met in the Portland area and hit it off pretty much straight away. And it was actually funny because we had a mutual friend that introduced us. And then we realized we had a whole bunch of stuff in common, like the gaming. You can see my gaming right here. And then I discovered that she had dived into the tarot world about 6 years ago. She's been with Los Scarabeo for those 6 years. She's got a plethora of decks, including Triple Goddess Tarot, Tarot Z deck, Heaven on Earth is her newest one, the one we're going to talk about today. Vox Arcana came out at the same time as this. And then we got Starman Tarot, Panda Tarot, John Bowers Tarot. The list goes on. And she also has a wonderful book. I don't know if anyone has read this one yet, Tarot Inspired Life. It's a great read. Everything she writes is a great read. So I just want to welcome Jaymi to the stream.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Jaymi.
Hey, Jonathan. Aloha. Good morning.
Aloha and welcome. Oh, and we got more people popping in. We got
Awesome.
Stephanie Burrows, the creator of Oak, Ash, and Thorn. Hi, Ishi.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Yeah, that I can see anyway.
Awesome.
There's 9 people watching, only a few chatting, but
that's fine. We gotta love our lurkers on Twitch. I'm a lurker, so hearts to the lurkers out there. We love you. But yeah, thank you for the introduction and having me on. It's been, yeah, I like to tell people that it's sometimes easier to ask me, what do I not do? Because I do so much out there.
It's true.
I started playing with tarot when I was 13, and I'm 46 now, so I'll let everybody else come up with the mathematics on that. But I've always been a writer as well. And like you pointed out on I love your little White Wolf Mage section, because you'll probably find me in maybe one of your books at least, unless you have the Black Dog Destiny's Price Destiny's Price book, because I'm in both of those.
I think writing. I do actually.
Yeah, I did. Yep. I wrote I wrote the short story intro for Destiny's Price, and I also helped out on Digital Web 2.0. So those credits are under my maiden name of Wiley. So
Wiley.
Yeah. But then I jumped right into the pagan scene and been writing and editing and podcasting. I host 2 tarot focused podcasts. One is Tarot Visions, where right now we're doing a read through at the beginning of the month of Tarot for Yourself by Mary Kay Greer. And we also interview people on our show. So that one's a primarily interview focused system. Right. And then the other one that came out this year in 2020 is Card Slingers Coast to Coast, where me, my friends, Melissa Sanova and Hillary Perry Haggerty get on, we cuss up a storm, we talk tarot, and it's just us gabbing about a topic for about a half hour.
I love it. I have to sign on to those.
Oh, yeah. Sure. So I do a lot out there.
Well, I mean, you have a lot of talent, so I'm not surprised.
Thank you. I don't know. I think I get bored easily, so I'm just like, gimme. You know, let me try all these things. I do so much.
I want all the things.
I want my team out there, darn it. No.
Cool. Well, since the topic is kind of focused on Heaven and Earth,
let's dive into it.
Let's dive. One of the things that I was interested to know is, I know it's mostly Jack's deck, right? Like he came up with a lot of it.
Yes.
So I'm curious to know who came up with the system of 5 things for the cards. Was that you? Or was that Jack?
No, neither one of us actually. It was the company themselves. So there are a couple of different ways you can approach writing tarot booklets or little white booklets, depending on what
Mhm.
deck you get in the industry. With some companies, it's maybe you, like the author of the deck, goes and approaches a publisher and says, I have this deck idea. That's the one thing I can't do, is do fine illustration like Jack's wonderful art. I can do
That's
collage stuff, but
amazing.
not
Mhm.
his art. So I go to the companies and I will say, I got this idea for a deck. I need an artist. You happen to know lots of artists. And then they'll pair you up and then you collaborate and work on the deck. And then it comes out
Mhm.
in either the nice, beautiful book like Heaven and Earth, or you get the little white, smaller booklets that sometimes
Right.
have we try and do our best with demystify the tarot, or sometimes it's just the keywords, sadly.
Right.
But with Los Scarabeo, they have a pool of staff writers, which I am one of them. Yay!
Woo!
And they will sometimes hook us up with a deck that's already either been done, and the artist, usually for them, I think they tend to go for the art first, so they sign on the artists, and then they pair a staff writer like me with
Mhm.
other people and with the artists. And so I get a PDF or sometimes the actual images of that art, and then I get to have fun with it. Sometimes I will always ask, not sometimes, I should say, I always try to ask my contacts at Los Garbeo, do you have a vibe or a world? Does the artist have a vibe or a feeling for how they want their deck represented? And sometimes I get some feedback on that, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's more fun when you don't, because then you go, "Moo ha ha," like the Panda Tarot. I
Right.
decided to create this whole idea that pandas really created tarot. Honestly, I mean, China had all the paper, and paper probably was made from bamboo. And so,
Mhm.
real pandas would chew up the bamboo, et cetera, et cetera. I have a fun little blog post on my Inner Compass Tarot site for this, where I kind of tie the deck writing that I did for the Panda Tarot in with this conspiracy theory-esque idea that pandas really did invent tarot way back when. And
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So again, you can get some really fun, creative, sometimes kooky ideas when you're being a staff writer and you have no connection to anything else. All you do
Right.
is you look at the cards and you write about them. In the case of Heaven and Earth, Los Scarabeo chose me. They hand selected me for this project, which is kind of
Okay.
honoring in a way. And it was also kind of a little bit nervous because I didn't connect with the images first.
Right.
Some of it is very overt Christianity themes, and me being
Mhm.
kind of being a pagan and definitely not in that sphere, it was like, how do I, combine my love for
Mm.
tarot into something where it's like the magician to me is like Jesus, and
I
I'm
was
like,
about to say that. Yeah.
yeah. The magician in the deck kind of reminds me very much of a personified Jesus, and I
Mhm.
was just like, "Okay, I gotta take some time and reconcile these 2 kind of, grinding points of view."
Right.
But they chose me, and they gave me a list of things to consider for this deck. They had an idea excuse me. There are actually going to be 2 different versions of this deck out there. We
Oh,
have the
okay.
book kit, which
Mhm.
is, the big one. It's got everything I
Right,
wrote
this
for this.
guy.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then with, like, the Tarot Z deck or some of the other Los Scarabeo decks and the nice collector's box that you get,
Mhm.
you'll get a smaller, more truncated thing, so you'll miss some of the stuff, like maybe some of the journaling questions that are in there, because
Right.
you can only have so much space.
More like this size, right?
No. If you
For the
have
small for the second version is what I'm saying.
no, yeah, the second version isn't gonna be like that. The second version,
No,
they have
it's
they have
still gonna be a
boxes.
box. Okay.
Yeah, it's still gonna be kind of a nicer box, but, not their tuck boxes, which, as you can see from Jonathan's loving care of the Triple Goddess Tarot, they get kinda beat up. No, this will be a little bit better. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I've been very careful. I mean, I even have a bag for the deck, and it's still about to fall
I
apart.
know, but I will say this, the indie deck industry has really pushed the big publishers into getting higher quality paper, the more better box packaging
Mhm.
and stuff, and it's been kind of nice to see how the 2 play off of each other, so to speak.
Right.
But yeah, they came up with the ideas, kind of what they wanted. And so all I had to do at that point was just sit down and write 50,000 words or so. No problem, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Especially for you just bang them out.
Yeah, unless you're having a hard time connecting. But then
Right,
again, that's,
right.
some of the magic of some of doing decks for a company like Los Scarabeo. Sometimes you can knock it out in a week. I think I knocked the Panda Tarot out in a couple of days. Sometimes, though,
Okay.
with these bigger projects, it takes a little more, like about a month or sometimes 2 or sometimes 3. The Triple
Mhm.
Goddess, when I was assigned the Triple Goddess project, it took me 5 months to come up with the core concepts, because that was actually kind of the third way to approach the deck, is that they say, "We have a project for you. We want you to take charge of it. We're gonna drop you into the deep
Right.
end of the pool and go." And that was my first true deck design, and it took me 5 months to come up with the story for the major arcana, because it was really important to me that I didn't do kind of the same thing like the Maiden Mother Crone. I'm not into the Celtic pantheon. I
Right.
recognize that multiple pantheons have a concept of a triple goddess. And so I just went with kind of a um, generic, agnostic Maiden Mother Crone idea.
Mhm.
And that's how I came up with that. So writing the book, sometimes you're up against a deadline. And if you're a career writer like myself, you kind of understand burning midnight fuel, being able to pace yourself. But other times it's like
Oh, I have to
pulling
share this
teeth.
with you. Only 50K when you don't connect. Oi.
Jaymi, I hear you. It's like, okay, so for those of you that might know or not know, no, last November there's this thing going on, and usually it's a huge deal across the world. It's called NaNoWriMo,
Mhm.
National Novel Writing Month. And if you go to nanowrimo.org, there it's basically 50,000 words in 30 days. You write, am I allowed to kind of moderately cuss here?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay.
It's
You
my
can
channel,
write
I don't care.
okay. You can write a shitty first draft. That's basically what it is. 50,000 words, and it breaks down to 1,666 words a day, or 2,000 for people like me that, are kind of overachiever. Yes, Jaymi, 9 years NaNoWriMo. High fives. Yes,
Ooh,
won
go
it.
Jamie.
Yes,
The
1
Jamies
nano.
have conquered.
Yeah. So basically, I just took a NaNoWriMo approach
Oh,
to
cool.
writing this book. Yes,
Aquarius Owl
winning.
won this year.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Yes, I did it for 12, 13 years. I was in a municipal liaison for the Vancouver, Washington region for 2 years.
Mhm.
And it's an amazing program. It'll help you teach your writing style of tarot, or not of tarot if you write a tarot book, but it'll teach you your
Right.
writing style, how to kill off your inner editor for the time that you're writing.
Oh,
And
that's
it
my problem.
yeah. Well,
That's
the
why I
first I
always
mean, and, I always give people permission. When I was in ML, I definitely gave them permission to write beautiful shit. That's what I told people. I'm like, "I give you permission to write the shittiest shit that you could shit on a page," so to speak.
Right. Just
And then
get
you
it
would edit.
out.
Yeah, just get it out. Don't worry about grammar as much. Don't worry about, spelling. I've got so many drafts of books that, you'd be like, "She misspelled tarot, what?" And it's because you're typing.
Right.
Grammar and spelling can always be corrected in the editing phase.
Right. And see, that's my problem is like I'm correcting it as I'm typing and
Yeah,
going
yeah,
back and fixing and going back
yeah.
and fixing. I'm like, I need to
And
stop doing that.
yeah, and Nano teaches you, and you can do Nano, and you can pick it, like, you can start writing a book today, Jonathan, and 30 days later have a finished draft of 50,000 words. Yeah, speed writing.
Mhm.
Jamie says speed writing. Speed write now, it's fun. All my first drafts are kind of in that speed write mode.
Yeah.
And, with
Go
those
Jamie.
yeah, with those Scarabeo, I don't just send them the end of that, because that to me, you don't wanna send anybody your first drafts. Those
No.
of you that did Nano, you're like, "Hell no, I'm not gonna send anybody my first drafts yet. I'll probably revise it, set it aside for a month, but revise it, and maybe, then start working on figuring out whether or not you've got a publishable gem or self-publishable gem in there."
Right.
So I tend to self-edit my own work before I send it to them. So I will
Mhm.
use a program like Grammarly to help kind of finesse or find out the mistakes that I had,
Right.
and then I'll send that draft to them, and then let their, Italian editors or other people focus on it. And some cases, there are times where if I've missed something, they will have another writer or they themselves will add something in, and that's fine too.
Oh God.
So that's how kind of the idea for the big book of the Heaven and Earth Tarot came about, is that I wrote it in about 30 days or so. And it honestly, to me, this has become a major template for like how you can do your own tarot guides, where I always like
Right.
to describe the image, because in some decks, like
Important.
the Starman Tarot is incredibly kind of hard to decipher what's going on in that image. So if you kind of give your readers an approach, or the people that are going to use your deck an approach, especially the beginners, a way to tackle into what's going on in that deck, that's going to help them become better readers and
I
be able
really
to
do.
inspire
I
them.
love the way that you broke it down into
Yeah.
sections like that.
Yeah, the heavenly interpretations is kind of like your general couple of paragraphs on what these cards can mean. The
Hmm.
earthly interpretations are breaking down the correspondences.
Right.
Now, I've had people email me and tell me, "Well, like, what are the arrows?" If you notice, like, on this is funny, I shuffled the deck, but I got the Fool right on top. You see all these things at the bottom. There's some arrows, there's some other weird things in there. I
Yeah.
didn't demystify all these things because some of the, symbols here, I wasn't sure what to put in. I had one, person ask me about arrows to the, left side of the card. Some of them go up, some of them go down,
But
some of them go
down.
both ways. And I didn't write those because I wasn't sure what Jack was going for in that.
Oh, right.
But I sat there looking at one of the cards and I thought about it. Well, what would I use those arrows for? And then I thought energetic patterns maybe. If the arrow is going up, that could be that it is expanding. Like you're putting things out there.
For those of you who can see
Yeah.
how the levers has an arrow going up and an arrow going to the right.
Yeah. And so that might be going to the energy's expanding, but going to the right side. So like creative expansion.
Oh,
Or if it's going,
interesting.
so I started playing with that. But you can also come
Yeah.
up with your own interpretations, which is also the fun of doing a book length or your own in-depth study on a card image, is that you get to create what some of these symbol sets mean. It really is like I've had people in the Triple Goddess tell me, I know you wrote this XYZ about X card, but I think it means this. And I'm like, go with that.
Right.
And
Well,
that's what
that's
it
what I
means.
love that you put in your book. Is like, yes, I'm going to write this down, but if your instincts are saying something completely different, go with the instincts.
And that's so important, and if you are a intuitive reader, it's always go with your
Mm.
instincts. That's the one thing I wish books back in the, late 90s, early 2000s would have said to me, is
Right.
that, I'm just one person. If you have a better idea of what the card says, or if it contradicts what I'm saying, go with it. Because my first years, I'd always be pulling for a book. Oh, what does Mary say about this?
Right.
What does the deck booklet that Barbara Moore wrote say on this? And it always would overwrite what I said. And to me, it's so important that we honor our own intuition and
I was the
interpret
same
it.
way in the 90s, where it was always like I had to get the answer from the book. I couldn't listen to my own inner voice because I didn't write the book.
I'm not
Right. So,
What do you mean? I'm the master? And of course, here I am writing books on tarot later, and people are like, "You are a master." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm just a person." Jaymi, no, Jack never. I don't know if Jack responded to what I wrote about his art, and I never really communicated with him at all. Sometimes I don't get the luxury of chatting with some artists. Hey, Hillary! Yay! That's my friend Hillary. She's also the co-host of Card Slingers. But
welcome, Hillary.
yeah, sometimes, yeah, I don't get to talk to the artists. Sometimes the artists actually like what I've done enough so that they partner with me. So, like, Renata Lechner's deck, she did Thelema Tarot, which is not based on the tradition of Thelema. She did the Thelema Lenormand. She did the Millennium Toth Tarot. She wanted me to do all of her decks. So I partnered and I've done all the stuff because she liked the way I built worlds into her stuff. So it's, and Betsy, you can understand tarot. You really can. When I teach students, one of the first things I'll tell them is to kind of hide or give your little white booklet to the deck you're working with to somebody. Or, it used to be I trash it,
Put
but
it
now I'm like,
aside,
yeah,
right?
no, I don't trash my work. But yeah, just put it aside, hide it, put it in a lockbox, and look at the cards. See what they have to tell you. What story do they come up with? That's the thing about
Mhm.
tarot, and if you write as well, I think you mentioned that you kind of write a little bit. You can write stories with tarot. Some of the
Right,
my book has 2 chapters focused on journal writing and creative fiction writing with
right.
decks. So, just set aside your little booklets or your bigger books from the masters like me or Mary or anybody else, and just talk to your deck. Just say, "Okay, fool, what do you got to say to me?" Or, "Okay," like in the Heaven Earth Tarot, "Okay, magician, you're looking really Jesus-y to me. How can I make friends with this? And how can I, get beyond certain things in images?" Because tarot decks sometimes don't won't always have images you like. One of my first decks, the Haendel Tarot back in the day, had an image of Callie having sex with her brother. And at the time, I didn't make that connection that it was really, the intercourse with the dead brother until later. I just knew that I didn't like that card because I didn't like what it seemed to suggest. I didn't know the
Right,
mythology behind it until I dove deeper. And so you learn how to make friends with the images or the card meanings you don't like. Everybody doesn't like the tarot, or the tower in tarot. We just we get it. We're like, oh God, something explosive, something big, some carpet's gonna be ripped out from under you.
right. I've actually learned to appreciate the tower,
Same.
especially this year.
Oh yeah. 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 It will, the tower card is necessary though. Sometimes we need a back slap on the back of the head to say, go back to the basics. Don't forget to
Mhm.
breathe. Don't forget to wash your hands in a pandemic, wear your
Right,
mask and you know, so just take your time. It's not a race, it's not a rush. Yeah, non-traditional decks can sometimes be better. For the longest time, I didn't use the Rider-Waite-Smith
mhm.
tarot at all. I was using everything kinda darker under the sun, like the Vertigo tarot or the Deviant Moon tarot, etcetera. And now, though, I use the Rider-Waite-Smith deck for my private practice. So when you come for an hour-long reading with me, that's the deck I'll use because it's kind of more it's a template, and it's got so much in there that anybody can find anything.
Right.
And Jonathan, you highlight what Hillary said about comparing different decks.
Yeah, I was
That's
about
an
to
Yeah,
actually.
awesome, yeah. This is another great thing that you can do with your decks, is you can take one of these traditional decks, lay them out on your floor, or just lay out the images you're having issues with and compare your non-traditional deck with a traditional deck, and that's how you can, like she says, make friends with the Hierophant or make
Right.
friends with the Tower. Is you break them out and you have, like, little tea parties with them, and then you can figure it all out. So you can totally do this. You can totally do this. I have faith in you.
Aquarius Owl says, "Got the tower in my morning spread."
Think about those fundamentals. Think about what might be coming up and remember to breathe, it's to me,
Mhm.
sometimes there are omen cards in a deck, I like to call them, and to me, the tower is kind of an omen card. It's one of those cards where we kinda don't wanna see them with clients, but we always know they're gonna dish something good up, and being
Right.
forewarned is so much better than going into it and not knowing.
Oh,
So,
yeah, we're
yeah.
being reminded that we were gonna do some readings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, do you wanna
Okay.
start some readings now and then get back
Sure. Yeah,
to,
we can
like,
do that. Let me
the
just
other one?
scroll back up to find Stephanie's question here.
Gotcha. Thank you, Stephanie.
Stephanie Burrows, the lovely Stephanie Burrows, creator of Oak, Ash, and Thorn, and she just
Yay.
announced a sister deck. It's all about woodland dragons. I just can't wait.
Ooh. Yes. Yeah, I think we also bonded over our love for dragons. I think that was
Uh-huh.
one of the things that brought us together.
And she doesn't have a specific question, but she just wants a general reading. But can I just point out the fact that we did not like talk to each other about what we're going to be wearing here?
No, I've got
I got my dragons.
yeah, I've got my Ouija board T-shirt on because that's fun.
Okay.
Oh, how do you like to do readings on your shows?
Usually I do like a 3-card pull,
Okay.
but if you want to, we could just draw one each.
I think that would be fun. So that way, Stephanie and everybody, and Stephanie, 80, and the well-tempered child can get cards from both of us.
Yes.
Oh, and the artistry. Apparently, today is your birthday. Yes, we can totally give you a birthday reading if you'd like.
Oh. Happy birthday, Mendy.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty. Pull my card here. Ah. Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Or do you want to share at the same time?
You want to do it together? 3,
Yeah.
2, 1. 2 of Wands.
I got the Ace of Pentacles.
So it totally goes along with this thing we were just talking about, how she's coming out with her second deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that bringing out that second deck is going to be the start of, well, it says Dominion here, but it's more like getting herself known in the tarot world. And I mean, Ash and Thorn exploded across the scene, and now it's like you can't get it.
Yeah.
And with that Ace of Pentacles there, it's like she's going to be sitting pretty by the time that the second deck is out.
I would have to concur with that. Where I love this garden that you're building with the Ace of Pentacles here, and that the doorway is important. Where you've made the second deck, it's all ready to be produced, or maybe it already is in production, and you're ready to walk out that door right into that Two of Wands. Whoop. So we're in this way. Nope, other way. There we go. Jonathan's the other way. And apparently I can't point there. That's okay. We're going to walk right out
I
this
never
door,
can do it right. I'm like, it's this way. No, wait, no, it's this way.
We're going both ways.
Wait, we're going this way.
Yeah, you're gonna be going right out that gate, straight up into that Two of Wands moment, and shining right out into it. So yeah, I see some good things coming up. And Pentacles, of course, means money. So here's your start of your new finances. So make sure you budget accordingly and make sure everything is all ready for this next journey. And congratulations. I look forward to seeing what you're going to put out next.
Yes, she added a teaser card to the Oak, Ash, and Thorn, and I'm like, oh God, give it to me now.
I know there's certain decks, certain people that I'm just like, gimme. You know, I call it grabby hands sometimes. Like, shut up and give me my money. Just bring it out now.
That's Stephanie for me. Oh, and she drew the Ace of Pentacles the other day about the creation of her deck.
Awesome.
And then drew the Ace of Cups previously about the feel of the deck.
I think those are perfect. I will sometimes use the aces in my altar work because they are that primal power, that complete focus. So I think this is awesome. If you can somehow get the other two aces out there, you've got the ingredients for that magic.
Okay, let's see. Next one is Adi. Can I get a quick reading, relationship reading with PAWAR?
Okay.
Relationship reading. Okay, well, I'll just see what the cards have to say.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, or do you want to do the together?
I love doing it together first. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Temperance.
The Emperor.
Wow, that's Emperor or 4 of coins?
No, this is it says 4. I don't know. It is 4 coins. Sorry, you're right. I saw this as the Emperor though first, so I think there is some power going into it. Because I always see the red robes, but yeah, with the with this being, the 4 of Pentacles. And again, I'm a professional, yet even professionals sometimes, mess up. So, go with your first things. I mean, If
There's
the
no
Emperor yeah,
mistakes.
if the Emperor pops into your head with the Four of Pentacles, that means there's some power division or boundary setting that needs to go on.
Mhm.
Because I have no
Especially with
idea.
this balance
Mhm.
popping up too. It's like there's an imbalance there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Something's going
wait,
on.
wrong one. This way.
Yeah.
That card with this card just makes me think that there's like a power struggle in a way, and you need to find that balance in the relationship. Otherwise, it's never going to be quite right. Right.
Yeah. So set some boundaries, set some rules if you have to. I don't know what's going on, but there is that dynamic. And it is kind of frustrating you because of, the fact that we've got Jonathan's um, card on his side, the temperance. This is a big issue. And also make sure
Mhm.
that you save some of those pennies that you have. Because if there's a financial key, excuse me, gosh.
Frog.
Yeah, it's early morning and my throat does weird things before 10.
No, I get it.
But yes,
It's not even light out here yet. So.
happy solstice. But
Happy
yeah,
solstice.
again, we got some financial concerns where there's this
Mm,
this diamond going on in this card, but those lines in between them, we've got like connections. So make sure
right.
all of your foundations are squared up, kind of literally in this card, where your finances, your room and board, your house, your health, your security, if you have children, make sure that they're doing okay as well. Because there's something going on in there without knowing more. Um, I can't really direct
There's
out, just make sure.
this is just screaming at me about like make sure everything is balanced, because it's just I get this vibe of it being completely unbalanced.
Mhm.
Yeah. So one of you is clinging on a little hard, I think. Let's see. And then was Betsy in there? No.
Let's see here.
Well-tempered Claire was next.
Yeah, because oh,
Oh.
I like this one.
Mm-hmm. And you're asking really great questions.
The one thing about 2021 we can all look at is the numbers. If you break down 2021 into a number value, if you had 2, 2, and 1, you get 5, which is the Hierophant. So next year is going to be a Hierophant year for all of us. And I'll let you interpret how you want to come up with the Hierophant for yourself.
Right, because it's going to be different for each of us.
Yeah. But it's also going to have an overarching theme that's similar for all of us. Some water here.
Oh, interesting. That popped up again.
All right, and now we get to find out which one popped up again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
3,
Ready?
2, 1. 2 of Wands. Oh, 2 of Wands with the 10 of Wands.
Oppression on this card.
Dominion and oppression. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't overburden yourself. I mean, I understand that you're trying to find that new thing, that thing that's going to help you blossom, but don't take on too much in 2021. Make sure that you are able to delegate if need be, or find a spot to put that burden down, because you have the ability here to really like set things up for yourself, but it's not going to happen if you let that happen, right?
Well, when you think about it, the 10 of Wands is the ending of a cycle. So
Mm-hmm.
what happens when we, are at the end of something, whether it's a relationship or a project or a book? You've got to put it down for a bit or set it aside or let it go before you can move on to the next thing. So in some ways, I look at the tens, especially the 10 of swords, as a letting go process.
Right.
What creative thing or what fiery thing do you have to let go or drop or find better ways to carry it? Because literally,
Mm-hmm.
this is not the right way to carry a bunch of sticks on your, is on your back. To me, it'd be in my arms, like, this. But
Right.
how can you, let something go or say goodbye to it so that you can free yourself up for what this guy on this side has to offer?
Exactly. So if you can put down that burden, then you can
Yep.
really attach yourself to this energy instead of that beginning, the creation process. Well-Tempered Claire says the Hierophant is his astrological card.
Nice. Yeah. So you'll look at the Hierophant and how it's playing on the world stage, and look at it how it's appearing in your own personal life, and then seeing how whether or not the two are in alignment with one another, which sometimes I like to hope they are, or where they contrast and how they differ. Alrighty. So we've got the birthday reading, and then
Yes.
Aquarius Owl has a question about the tower.
Let's see, where is Mindy's comment? I guess I don't really need to throw it up, but nah, let's just do it.
But yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mindy.
Alrighty. Well, I had a card that just jumped out into my lap, so we'll be pulling that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sometimes
obviously that's the right one.
So sometimes you'll get cards when you shuffle that either jumps out, or let's say 52 card pickup, because they just kind of want to fall out and lay up on the floor when you're reading for yourself or with others. And if they jump out on the table face down, I'll pull those cards aside out of the deck and say, we're going to, save this for later, because the tarot does have something to say for you. Right. And in the case of like, if you get more than one, I just leave them where they sit and start reading them.
Got a jumper too.
Nice. Well, happy jumper birthday.
I know, right? Well, and Jamie Kelly has a thing where if it jumps out in a group of cards, she's saying that those cards didn't want to talk this time. So just put them to the side and then keep shuffling.
Interesting. I'll have to play with that next. Because I've never done that. I've always taken the approach of these are the special chosen ones, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. These are chosen. Right. They want to come out, read them first or last as kicker, kind of like bonus, energies.
She only reads them when they're singles. If they're a clump, then they're like trying to get out of the way, is how she puts it.
No problem. I will totally give that a shot. Thank you.
Of course. That's what I love about this. We're all learning from each other constantly.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Everybody's got their favorite card stock. Everybody's got their favorite kind of imagery idea. Everybody's got their own rituals around tarot. And I love learning from everybody. It's so much fun.
Well, one thing that I do that seems to be rubbing off on people is when I'm doing a reading, after the cards are laid out, I flip the deck over to see what the bottom card is and read that as the shadow card.
Sometimes when I'm reading for others, I'll pull off the top, middle, and bottom. Like there's there's no right or wrong way to pull the cards out. I've done fish with the cards with clients where we've made a cauldron to make the pot juicy. But alrighty, shall we not keep our birthday girl?
Oh yes, birthday girl. Okay, yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
10 of Pentacles.
The moon.
Ooh, that's a nice combo.
Yeah.
So I see this. She's definitely a family person. And I see it. She's definitely setting things up for her family. She's doing good. And with that moon card, it's like by being able to have the material realm set up for herself and her family, she's able to better tap into that intuition and really feel the cycles of the moon. And so that's what I'm getting from these two.
I'm going to go ahead and start with the moon first, since this is a major arcana card.
Right.
There are many ways that you can look at like birthday cycles and everything. I mean, I know today's your birthday. I don't know how old you are, but if you add up your birthday year, and this is something that I know that Hillary and I have talked about on one of our Cardslinger cast that's forthcoming in the future, but you can read about this in Tarot for Yourself, as well as Who Are You in the Tarot by Mary Kay Greer. And if Hillary's still here, she can post more on it. But sometimes you get a major arcana. Well, not sometimes, all the times you get a major arcana card for your year cards. And without knowing what your year card is for right now, because I don't know, your birth stuffs and whatnot, I can interpret this as a year card. This is the year you're going to go deep. In 2021, from, you can look at this as, you're going to be in a moon phase. So you're going to go deep. You're going to pick up on intuitions. You're going to maybe try and really hone in on who you want to be and believe. And you're going to come out of this year much stronger, because you are relating back to who you are at the core, and you're kind of reimagining yourself. In my triple goddess deck, this is a woman who's looking in a mirror, and the mirror reflects something that she doesn't see herself as. Like, it's like, the idea of like, oh my God, look at all these gray hairs. What happened? How did I get to be 46? And
Mhm.
so you're going to go into this sort of moon year, this lunar year of connecting to all these different cycles, to connecting deeper to yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, that's hilarious. But what I also love is with
Yeah, it's
Jonathan's
true.
card, it's a legacy card to me. This is, if,
Mhm.
and the two do brilliantly go hand in hand. You've got to go deep before you can figure out what gifts and what things you're going to leave behind. And family's important in that 10 of Pentacles as well. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mendy. Oh, I didn't see you slip in, Jilly. Hi, little Zen crone. Oh, and real
Hello.
simple Earth, Jada is here. Oh,
Yay.
Mindy's sending the kids to college this coming year.
Oh, yes, there's going to be some release and letting go as well. Welcome to, I guess it would be an empty nest
Right.
syndrome, so to speak, maybe.
You're
But
very
yeah,
welcome, Mindy.
yeah, you're welcome.
So I think
Take
I
care.
saw Betsy threw up a question somewhere.
Yeah.
Where was it?
Was there a question on the tower? Yeah. Well, we have Aquarius Owl with a question on the tower. I'm not sure where Betsy's is.
Let's see. Yeah, that's a problem with this. Oh, here we go.
Yes.
What
Okay.
was the tower card warning me of today?
I guess my question is, do you want us to talk about that in generic terms, or do you want us to pull cards to find out the answer to that? Because I can read this question two different ways.
Right.
I guess we could pull a card.
Let's pull a card.
Okay.
What does the tower mean for Aquarius Owl? She says, pull the
Okay.
cards.
Yep. Okay. We're pulling the cards. So let's see what.
Oh, I got a
tower-
jumper.
Yeah. Do you want to use that, or are you gonna just set that one aside?
Oh, I'm using it.
Okay.
But it's a single.
All righty.
Okay, I see. 3, 2, 1.
Whoop.
Chariot.
3 of Cups.
Oh, interesting. So sometimes in order to get to that celebration, you have to learn how to guide your two sides in the way you want it instead of letting them pull you apart. And the tower, this specific thing is going back to that tower card, is not letting your brain kind of like tear you apart because you can't decide if you should go left or right or forward or backwards. Or so I think that tower is letting you know that if you don't pick the right way, you're going to regret it. But you are in complete control of where you're going, right? You control what's happening. And if you steer your chariot just right, you end up getting to party with your friends over there. So,
And I've kind of got a different take on this one where, okay, so the tower card, the tower is warning you of something. It's reminding you, go back to the fundamentals, that something's going to shock you and happen. Right now, we're in the middle of all the winter holidays. And family and friends are probably going like, let's party. Or I don't know,
right.
maybe some of them might be requesting in-person visits. And you're at that crossroads with the chariot in some cases, like Jonathan said, with the two sphinxes or the two critters pulling each other different ways. There's a choice to be made. There's a destiny to take. So what is going to, what are you going to do? Are you going to, you need to make good choices. You need to, if the tower is a warning, especially right now, do you go to the parties or do you not? Do you stay healthy? Do you stay, take care of everything? Can you, trust in all of the people around you that they are, are absolutely healthy? And that's kind of what I was kind of picking up when I see tower and I see those two things. But this is kind of a big
decision. I could see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a decision. That's what it's like being a warning of. It's like the decision's here, and if you take the wrong path, you'll end up at the tower.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that the tower is inescapable.
Yeah.
It's just that it's a warning, basically, is how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. Just remember to breathe, make good choices, and stay healthy.
And then we have Betsy.
Yeah.
What is my next action on my current project?
I like these. I like these because in my private practice, I love giving homework and action steps. So I'm gonna hopefully see what card I can come up with for maybe some homework for Betsy to do.
So Aquarius Owl says, very interesting. Going to think about that one. Thank you.
And I also got a duplicate, even though I shuffled and cut.
It's funny how often that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So Betsy has been a medium her whole life, and her spirit guides love to
I see that. Yeah. Well, let's see if your guides and me can coordinate. Who knows? You ready?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Justice.
That 10 of Wands again.
Oh, okay.
What I'm loving is that we're getting a major and a minor for each
For
one
almost
of these.
everyone.
Yeah.
Actually, it has been all of them, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So with this combination, the Justice with the 10 of Wands there, the next action step I'm seeing is like put down some of those burdens so you can find that balance to create the project in the way you want to create it. Because this is all also about like finding your voice, finding your truth. And if you're too overburdened by everything, you're not going to be able to stand strong, be able to like speak what you need to speak.
So let's see here. What is my next action? So when I see these two cards coming up, especially this one, I'm thinking that you're at a pregnant pause in the project, whatever it's going on, whether it's writing or music or something, where you might need to take a break, a step away from what you're creating right now and just kind of bring back balance and karma, and maybe even think about the integrity of your project, because justice to me is ethics in a way, or true justice in an American sense, where especially right now what's going on, what is our nation going to be, what is our community trying to get out, what are we trying to show ourselves and to others what we believe in. So I'm wondering, you're releasing an inner victim. So maybe when I see that, now that you've reframed it, let it, open the gates, let that inner victim or child or, wounded personality come out, because there is that idea that you're holding them back, you're holding them too wrong or too tight. So maybe right now their voice needs to come out. And that's where that card comes into play, that justice card, where they have their own voice. So maybe journal about, do some automatic writing, which is where I'm a southpaw. And so take your right hand or your non-dominant hand and let that give voice to the inner victim or the wounded person.
Oops, wrong one.
Yeah.
There we go.
So give that a shot. And be gentle, and be gentle with yourself as you do this process.
Be gentle with yourself, because I know that you expect a lot from yourself, Betsy.
Well, it's not just that, but letting any voice that hasn't come out in a while come out can be, it's a trip. It's hard. There's going to be some emotions coming out for both that personality and you, the dominant caretaker, so to speak. So yeah, good luck. Take it easy and make sure you get lots of good sleep and health and water into you.
Welcome, Justin Michael. He loves this deck.
I'm glad you love it.
Okay, so the next one is real simple. Earth Jada. She wants to just a general focus question.
I like these because you can turn these into daily draws, like, what intentions can you set in the morning or how you should act throughout the day type of things. Cutting the deck now. Alrighty.
Oh, thank you, Jada. She says, you two flow so well together. Loving this.
Oh, thank you. That this wasn't rehearsed, by the way.
We just know each other really well. Oh, interesting.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Contact.
Hierophant.
Tower.
Oh, okay.
So something big. When I see both of these, I see something big.
There's a lesson coming, and it might not necessarily be a very pleasant one, but I think for me, the tower, a lot of people think of it as, oh no, my whole world's going to come crashing down. But it's like, no, I really love the tower because it's giving you the opportunity to start over and do it again in the way that you really want to do it, versus just continuing on in the same cycle. You're breaking the cycle with the tower. And with this card popping up too, it's like there's a major spiritual lesson coming through for today. Your focus for today is just being open, letting those tower moments just kind of wash over you and learning from them.
Oh, I love your comments there. So I get 2 majors. Apparently, yes, you get 2 majors. And that I love this, this almost nihilistic, I want this world to come crashing down. So excited for what's next. Yeah, in a way that's,
oh my God, I love that.
I love that you're excited about this because, a lot of people look at this and go, oh, what the F is going on? That, shit's hitting the fan. I'm out of here. But
right.
Yeah, listen to your spiritual side. I think, these 2 cards are brilliant together because, in a way, your world's going to kind of come crashing down with this lesson. It's, again, you're, like Jonathan said, building up yourself back up, reimagining yourself. And you can only do that if you tear yourself down to those fundamentals. Mm-hmm. And that's hard to do. Yet, if you listen to your spiritual guides over on the other card, that your divine inner voices, whoever guides you, your family, your friends, you can definitely get through that. Yeah, those inner teachers, they will tell you what you need to know and how to and how to grow it so that you can build up into the next thing.
Thank you, Jada. Okay, our next one is Jaymi Kelly. She just wants a Jonathan Jaymi reading.
a double JJ, huh?
Yeah.
So Jonathan was telling me that he kind of is a collector of Jaymis, where he's got you, Jaymi Kelly, he's got me, Jaymi Elford, and a few other Jaymis, and it's just we're out there. We are legion.
Yes, and somehow I'm a Jaymi magnet.
Yes, Jada. Yep, observing the observer.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love that.
Yep. And in a way, now that you're kind of forewarned with that tower card, you are the observer. You just, you just put yourself in observer mode rather than a reactionary mode. So if shit does hit the fan, you can be like, oh, okay, well, life will go on. So then you just figure out what to do next.
Oh, and she loves your shirt too.
Yes. I got this off of Etsy. So if anybody... I am really reachable, either email, and I'm on Facebook under my name and on Twitter. So if anybody wants to know like where you can find stuff or more of me or the shirt or anything else that you see in my background, just let me know. And I like to talk. I like to chat. So let's connect. Yes, Triple J.
The Triple J's.
Yeah, J squared or Jaymi squared. Alrighty. Are we ready?
Yes.
Ooh.
I was getting distracted by the chat.
It's easy too. It can be easy. I've only just started doing live streams, and I'm kind of addicted to them a little bit, I think, because these are just fun to have the interaction.
Well, you can come on anytime you want.
Awesome.
Let's see. Oh, okay.
Ready?
3, 2, 1. Lovers.
Strength.
Ooh, another double major here.
Yep.
So I think Jaymi really gets her strength from her relationships with others and that connection she can like find with others. I know that like if you don't have that connection, you don't feel as strong. And this combo here, I mean, the woman standing here looks a lot like that woman, right?
Go ahead and hold it up a little bit. Yep, they kind of do.
Right. So for me, this is just talking about, since she just wanted a general reading anyway, about how her relationship is where she gets her strength. And it's her relationship with her husband, Stephen, but also like her relationship with us and the tarot community and her brothers and sisters out here. So I just see that really strongly.
So when I think about the lovers, I think about any partnerships, because it is the 6 in a cycle. And while that's a card we love to get in relationship readings, to me, it's not that perfect pairing. It's the idea of making a choice to figure out who you want to be aligned with and where you envision that partnership to go. So right now, yeah, relationships are at the forefront of your mind, and how you choose about going through them. So like Jonathan said, if we're using that as kind of the topic card, you're framing where you want to be and who you want to connect with and how you want to choose to be a personality in that. And you do get strength out of that. Strength is also fortitude, it's poise, it's grace. So there's a lot of movement and interaction in these partnerships and relationships that you can make. And so you do take from it, and you also kind of get back. In the Triple Goddess Tarot, strength is the mother card. So this is where you start kind of nurturing in a way. And in most traditional decks, they'll show, the older decks, they'll show the woman forcing open to dominate over the lion. However, these days, at least in my world, it's more of a helpful attitude of pairing with others.
So she really brings up the idea of the critters, and it's
Yes.
the relationship with the humans and the relationship with the animals. She's a vet tech.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, continue to be the caretaker. If you look at the strength card on the Triple Goddess, there is a person healing the wounded wolf. So yes, and it's hard to do. I don't know. I mean, I'm allergic to a lot of animals, and I wanted to be a veterinarian growing up. I wanted to be a writer, astronaut, veterinarian. So I really love that you're able to help and tend to the wounded animals and care for them and help them get stronger when they can. And I can only imagine how heartbreaking it is when you got clients that come in and you're just like, we can't do this. It's got to be so hard.
Oh yeah, Mandy has a good point here. So when the cards came out, like Jaymi really is like this loving, caring person that just like constantly gives of herself. But she's also probably one of the strongest people I know too.
Empathy is a strength. A lot of people right now are saying that, feelings, screw your feelings, they're not important. But empathy is where we get strength, the ability to connect to all things great and small.
So we are coming up on an hour and about 2 minutes. So would you like to do a collective reading now?
Yeah.
And with a collective.
Yeah, okay. As in this group, pulling from the energy of the group?
It could be this group. I always like to end my lives with a reading for the collective.
You got it. Alrighty. I'm going to pull 2 cards for this.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's pull a couple extras.
Jada says, my reading was total opposite to Jaymi's.
See, and that's the thing. Sometimes, like, even though we've drawn a couple of the same cards, sometimes they get spun differently when you have other cards around them. Right. Sometimes they might come as the same thing. Sometimes they might be different. And that's all in, again, how you read the cards and the group you're with.
Before we do the collective, I guess Elizabeth had asked a question. I'm sorry, okay. Elizabeth. I didn't even see that.
Okay.
The chat goes so fast sometimes. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. Here, let's readjust here.
Yep. Thank you for keeping us on task, Jaymi.
Yeah. That's why I have moderators, because I would not be able to do this without them.
Big props to the moderators. Big props to the moderators. As they say on Twitch, heart and chat for moderators.
And Jada, I think I need to give you that wrench too. Okay. Jada, you're now a moderator.
Yay!
She was the
Someone's been
first one
promoted.
to mention the one for Jaymi. I mean,
Gotcha.
Elizabeth. Okay. So, kind of a general love card. Fantastical people.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you love Card Slingers Coast to Coast. I'm glad we have fun with that. I love recording with Melissa and Hillary. We sometimes spend anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour before we actually start hitting the record button. And for next year, we've kind of we're doing some different things with that, like starting the recordings right away so that we get some of the weird stuff that, everybody probably misses. Alrighty, you ready?
Mindy was apparently trying to tag Hillary.
Gotcha.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Wheel of Fortune.
The 6 of Cups.
Oh, interesting. A general love card. So there's with this, I just keep coming back to cycles. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like these cycles keep repeating because you're trying to relive a happy memory that is in the past, but you want to keep trying to recreate it. So you just keep going around the wheel, trying to recreate it instead of embracing the new things coming in. So the reading I'm getting here is like, yes, it's great to have those happy memories, but stop trying to remake them and enjoy the ride on the wheel. So,
I love
new memories will be made, right?
I love the Wheel of Fortune because I'm always thinking about the Animaniacs. Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us a lesson we should learn. And that's always what I usually say with that. So, yeah, Jonathan's right. With that card, it is about cycles. It's about karma. It's about, where you see yourself on that wheel. Are you coming up? Are you going down? And how can you back off of it? How can you pause the wheel so that you can actually center yourself and really kind of think clearly? When I pulled this card, I felt like connection. Where are you looking at the connections to the people around you or to this love interest if you have a particular person or ideal in mind? And how does that fit in with your cycles? Is this, is the connection strong? Is it more nostalgia? Have you allowed that connection to grow and change as your relationship to this person or people around you grow and change? So I think that the lesson right now is to really kind of sit down and think about who you're connecting with and how they make you feel. And if they still make you feel the ways you want to feel with them. Because if they don't, maybe it's time to take the Wheel of Fortune's morality lesson to heart and step off and jump on another wheel, because there are always cycles. There's always lessons to learn out there.
I love that. Yep. Oh, I love your readings.
Thank you.
Okay, now we are over the hour, but do you still have enough time for
a quick
collective?
I do. Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's been fun.
Oh, interesting here. So Elizabeth says, oh, wow, this is so spot on. I need to take this to the heart and make a change.
Yeah. And you can do it. I mean, none of what we're suggesting is going to be easy. I joke about writing 50,000 words in 1 month and that being easy, but that's only because I've been practicing for 13, 14 years and writing all my life. So, I mean, it's going to be hard work for any of these.
You're very welcome, Elizabeth.
But yeah, you're ready. You can do it. You're welcome. All righty, that's where that card wants to come out. And I'm going to pull from the bottom. Oh, really, Jaymi Kelly? Awesome. Are you in the Portland area by chance?
She's in Klamath Falls.
Oh, okay. So you're down south. Yes, please reach out to me. I'd love to connect with a fellow Oregonian.
Pretty sure she lived her whole life in Oregon. So
awesome.
Betsy's saying we need to have Jaymi come back. I'm like, yeah.
I might, if you really want. We can make that happen, I think.
I'd love to have you back. Well,
Awesome.
we are actually planning on having you back anyway, remember?
Yeah, true. Well, I know, but cat's out of the bag. Yeah.
I just want to, we're close to being done anyway. We are going to be doing readings with these two together. So Jaymi wrote the book for the Dreamscape Oracle. And these two, I've been reading with them together for a while. And it's just, wow.
Which deck, Elizabeth? Because we just introduced another one into this mix. So, which deck do we like?
Are you meaning this one, Elizabeth? Oh, that's right. Jaymi's been all over the place. Diplomat, Air Force child.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking you grew up there for some reason.
That's
just because you've been there for so
huge,
long.
Though. Once I'm able to kind of get my biases of, some of the card images out of the way, I like reading with this deck. It's real open and real easy to read with, which has been kind of a nice treat. Because sometimes
I'm actually the same. I like when I first got it, I was like, oh God, the magician looks like Jesus. What am I going to do about this?
Well, it's that, and then the high priestess. I always thought I was like, oh geez, look, it's Mary. So we have Jesus and Mary's right off the bat. Oh, how am I going to swim this? For all the pagan tarot people.
As I was going through, I was just like, I don't know if I can connect, but I did. I mean, that's the thing, is looking past that exterior.
Yeah, the exterior or your own personal biases,
Exactly.
But that it's still a lifelong goal. I mean, like I said, when I first saw the images, I freaked a bit and I laughed it up. I was just like, look, it's Jesus, the Jesus and Mary deck. But sometimes you lean into it a bit and then you get that out of the way so you can figure out and get serious with it. Elizabeth, it'll take some time. I can see this being a deck that you can do some real deep esoteric study with it.
Definitely.
In fact, I have a client friend who wants to help me walk them through the Kabbalah with this deck, since there is that heavy influence of Kabbalistic nature in this deck. So, yeah. The book has a lot of journal questions, and that'll help you get started.
I actually really love those questions. Thank you for that.
Sure. Yeah, I liked writing those. They were always fun.
We have a question for us. What has been the hardest deck to read with? God.
Do you need some time?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, in the past, it was the Rider-Waite-Smith. I just had a hard time connecting with what I thought were stale images. Mm-hmm. But today, I'd have to say the Starman Tarot, and I helped to write that. I wrote the keywords for that. And that's mostly because of when I read for others, I look at the images, or sometimes I let them bring their voice and what they see in. And I have a hard time connecting with that deck because I feel like it's just kind of scattered and all over. So there will be decks in your life that you love the images or you connect with, like Starman, that you might find that you can't use. And I use those for spell working or personal decks. Like every month I do a month study with one deck. So all my daily draws are done with one continuous deck, and then I swap them out every month. So if you have a hard deck, sometimes you can work with it by yourself first and find the purpose. Like maybe the Starman isn't a general reading. Maybe it's only for Bowie fans. Or maybe you're going to use that for spell work. So you put cards on your altar and other things. So, you'll learn kind of how you read and how you want to interact with other decks. So is that enough time for you?
Yeah.
All right.
I was just going to say that, like, if you had asked me this question even a year ago, I probably would have said the Tarot de Marseille, just because I've never been one to work with tips very well, because I'm very visual. I need those images to really trigger me. But, I took Tom Benjamin's Marseille class through Ethany's summer school. And so I feel like I actually understand the system now. Jamie Kelly just threw it up, the Rosetta, just because it's like the writings in Egyptian script. And I really haven't dived that deep into the Thoth system. So
That's the thing. I don't know if it's based off of Thoth or not. I mean,
Rosetta is.
okay, that
Yeah.
there are a lot of good Thoth or Toth. You'll hear it pronounced many different
I
ways
know so many
because
different ways. I just say it my way.
well, I know. Well, it's Crowley. I mean, Crowley convolutes shit,
Right.
But but there are a lot of good books out there on demystifying the Crowley system, and there's other people that have kind of blended them together.
Well, and the great thing is the Rosetta has its own book, which I finally got. So what I really just need to do is just set a month aside to do nothing but just dive deep into that deck. So do you want to?
I also don't read with the Tarot de Marseille decks or the Marseille decks just because, like Melissa likes to say, I don't read with sticks and bones. But that is something I do want to get into because there are some really good hybrid decks out there. I know, like the Tarot del Toro, Guillermo del Toro's deck.
Right.
That he didn't have a hand in it, but it's heavily influenced by all his work. But yet he did approve some of the stuff. That deck is really interesting. If in a little bit on the darker side, if you know Guillermo's work, but it is kind of a Marseille deck. So you gotta, know a little bit about sticks and stones.
There's actually one that came out recently was the Tarot of Light and Shadow.
Yeah, I bought that deck. I couldn't read with it. That went into, I like somebody called it the purgatory box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the tempered child. Yeah, the tarot purgatory box. I put mine in that, and then a friend lost their deck, and so when they came over a couple of months ago for a dinner, I let them go through that box, and they took it off my hands, and they love that deck. So again, you're not going to jive with all the decks, and yeah, I mean. Starman's a hard one to crack. Starman, even having worked on it, it's a real hard one to crack.
And of course, Mendy loves her Marseille.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine, Bev. She reads with Marseille, or another friend of mine, Ryan. He did a reading for me with Marseille, and I was floored. It was a real quick 15-minute reading because we were at a convention, but I was just like, "How are you interpreting all this? And how does this even? Because it's such a different style, and it's just neat." Alrighty, do we want to do the readings?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I've got time, and as everybody's saying, I'm a Leo. I don't mind doing this. So
I just have a timetable because my son needs this spot for his schoolwork today.
Oh yeah.
So I pulled 2.
Okay, me too.
And 3, 2, 1. I got the World and Ace of Swords.
And I got the I got the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands. So I got the 2 ladies from the Wands.
Oh wow. Okay. And it's interesting because the world here is holding 2 wands.
Yep.
So for me, this is, as a collective reading, is talking about how we need to have a new way of thinking in order to dive into those ladies' fiery energy to really harness that fire and that creativity for the world in general. So this is like a call to action, a call for us to have new thoughts about our own creativity and really just create for the world so we can make something new.
Alrighty. So again, I tend to look at the majors first. So I'm going to go with Jonathan's. We are at the end of a year, at the end of a cycle, and the world is number 21. It is the end of a cycle. So I'm seeing hope and renewal coming back for what 2021 can bring. And again, 2021 will be a Hierophant year. So there's a lot of spiritual studies, spiritual teaching, try and figure out where we can kind of fit into that. And with the world card, to me, it's all about kind of giving back as well, where we're on a stage. We're now kind of in this, area where I'm a fire spinner. So it's like, that person spins fire. So we can do all this fun stuff with it. The Ace of Swords is all about that initial, oh, I have an idea. It's not the idea. It's just the,
It's that spark.
Yeah, it's that first breath of, "Ooh, there's something going on here." Like, right now, one of my biggest projects is editing a friend's, first manuscript to prep it for hopeful acceptance with the publisher. And
Mhm.
I see some, developmental problems with it, and this morning, as I was making the bed, I had this idea. So that whole, "Oh, that idea, will help become into fruition for you all." So listen to that inner voice, listen to the inner victim, as somebody said, the inner
Mhm.
child, and let them have a chance to tell you what is needed. And from there, use the power of these two wonderful personalities, the queen and the page. Now, I know in some decks they like to genderize them, but I like to keep these open where let's go with the page first, since she's the younger, or they are the younger of the cards. This is
That's the
all.
queen.
Is it? Oh yeah, derp. So I had it right. First, in some decks, the queen is standing, and when I see
Right.
this, it's so funny because if you look at this, and if you look at the fires, I almost feel like my eyes drawn more towards her to the
Oh, I get
page.
that.
And I feel
Oh,
like she is definitely more of a queen than this one who's sitting and kind of taking the fire is also kind of muted as well. See, and again, this is stuff that you can learn when you pull cards out and start, kind of playing with them a bit. So with that page, she, yeah, I don't like when the screen's all backwards. Yeah. So, and even this card is the princess. So other cards will have princess titles or other titles, but with this page/princess card, this is somebody who's just playing with their art, playing with those ideas. Again, with Jonathan's ace card out there, we've got that idea of it's time to play. It's time to
Mhm.
just, it's not settle on the path. It's time to, write a shitty first draft. It's time to compose a music or sing something, just hum in a shower, get the general idea of how the project wants to look. How does it want to be shaped? So you do this first, and then after a while, you step into this role. And the card that's missing in between them is the knight. And the knights are usually that action step. So you play
Mhm.
around, you mess around, you get out your coloring books, you learn to color, you learn color theory, and then you apply it. So you actually do the thing. And then you can kind of start maturing into what you want and nurturing. And in some cases, the queens are also kind of teachers in a way where they teach you and help you develop your skill set better. So I see a lot of power into what we can be coming into and what we can be doing next year on all the world levels. I mean, I know that fire for me is creativity and passion, and I
Exactly.
tend to think in writing terms or in graphic design terms. But for those of you that are in different things in healthcare, like in the vet world, what projects or what things can you do to make the world better? How can you help the animals more? If you are in finance, how can we give back to the world or help others that are in need in such a way? So there's all sorts of ways you can take this type of reading into, or all different
Yeah.
directions.
Well, that's why I like these general readings, just because it's a way of bringing everyone together. And even if the reading is kind of like general, everyone takes what they need from it.
Yep.
So,
That's usually what
and
I'll tell people too is, take what you like from these readings and then leave the rest.
thank you so much for coming on today, Jaymi. And I look forward to our future endeavors because
Yeah,
this has been a blast. And
totally.
people
Thank you.
are thanking us right and left. And Jamie's like, "This has been great. Thank you
Yeah.
both."
Thank you
It,
all for coming and the questions and asking things. And again, if you need to reach out to me, I'm Jaymi_Elford at Twitter. You can search me on Facebook as Jaymi Elford. And I have 3 different web domains. So if you want to kind of just know more about me and what I do in tarot, that's innercompasstarot.com. I have a specific site, companion site for my book here, tarotinspiredlife.com. And if you want to see the full what does Jaymi do in her spare time listing of kind of publications, that's shadesofmaybe.com. That's with an M, Shades of Maybe.
Shades of Maybe. Yeah,
Yep.
it's very impressive, that
Oh,
list
thank you.
there.
Yep. Like I said, I've got a lot of hands in the buckets, so.
Right. So just bear with us for a moment, Jaymi, while I
Mhm.
say goodbye to everybody. Thank you guys, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Aloha.